Welcome to the video on the Golden Ticket Advantage for engineering students. In this session, we will explore how dual nationality, particularly access to major economic blocs like the European Union, can transform your early career strategy. We will move from immigration challenges to strategic career optimization, focusing on how to choose destinations based on earnings, specialization, and long-term stability rather than novelty. Let's begin by framing the big picture and then transition into specific, actionable steps. Here's our roadmap. First, we define what the golden ticket means in practical terms. Next, we compare the EU path and the Asian path by risk and reward. Then, we show how you can immediately leverage your freedom of movement. After that, we outline the skill stacks that provide the best return on investment. We will follow with a concrete 90-day action plan, add a couple of quick quizzes to reinforce learning, and finally wrap with key takeaways and next steps. Let's set context. Dual nationality that grants access to high-income and stable markets like the European Union is more than convenience. It is a force multiplier. By removing the need for work permits, you can focus immediately on career growth variables. Where to gain specialized experience, which hubs offer the best salary growth, and which environments provide robust social protection. This shift lets you optimize much earlier than peers who must navigate complex immigration processes. Why is this a game changer? First, you remove the work permit bottleneck in the EU, which shortens hiring cycles and de-risks employer decisions. Second, you can test multiple markets early, rotating through Dublin, Berlin, and Amsterdam to discover the best fit. Third, early wins compound. Stronger internships lead to better first jobs and higher lifetime earnings. Fourth, you gain easier access to elite teams working in artificial intelligence, DevOps, and cybersecurity. Finally, because administrative risk is minimized, you can allocate more energy toward deepening your technical skills and building a standout portfolio. This decision flowchart starts at the question of choosing your first market. It branches by salary growth, specialization fit, language comfort, cultural appetite, and geopolitical stability. If salary growth and stability are top priorities, it channels you toward EU hubs such as Dublin, Berlin, and Amsterdam. If your specialization aligns with robotics or automotive, it routes you to Germany. If you prefer an English-first work environment, it suggests Ireland or the Netherlands. If cultural adventure dominates, and you are willing to commit to language mastery, the flow proposes Japan with N2 or N1 proficiency, or Malaysia for exposure to an emerging market. Finally, a loopback node reminds you to reassess after 6 months, emphasizing iterative decision-making. To leverage your freedom of movement, target EU hubs early, specifically Dublin, Berlin, and Amsterdam. Then, pursue remote internships and short-term placements, even during semesters, to accelerate your exposure to production systems. Prioritize teams that actively hire for high-demand areas like AI, DevOps, and cybersecurity. Meanwhile, use EU social safety nets and labor protections to take calculated risks, such as joining an early-stage team in a hot domain. Finally, adopt an iterative approach, spending 3 to 6 months per hub to evaluate mentorship quality, project scope, and salary trajectory before committing long-term. Here is a concrete 90-day sprint. In the first week, identify 30 target teams across Dublin, Berlin, and Amsterdam, and find the relevant hiring managers. In the second week, assemble a focused portfolio page with 2 to 3 standout projects, each tied to AI, DevOps, or cybersecurity. Over the next 2 weeks, publish one public contribution each week to an open-source repository in your target stack. From day 31 to 45, apply to 15 remote internships or placements, and tailor your CV to specialization keywords and measurable outcomes. Between days 46 and 60, schedule 10 informational interviews to collect feedback on your gaps and refine your portfolio. From day 61 to 75, deepen your specialization by passing an entry-level cloud certification or deploying a small MLOps pipeline. Finally, during days 76 to 90, secure a short on-site stint or remote contract and evaluate team quality, mentorship, and growth trajectory. Quiz time. The question asks, what is the single greatest early career hurdle that an EU passport helps bypass for non-graduates? The options are language proficiency exams, securing a work permit, university accreditation verification, and salary negotiation. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is securing a work permit. Removing this hurdle simplifies employer decisions, accelerates hiring, and allows you to move between EU markets rapidly to find the best fit. Let's compare the two paths. On the EU side, risk is lower and reward is high, with English-friendly work environments in Dublin and Amsterdam, strong social protections, and sustained demand for AI, DevOps, and cybersecurity. Experience gained here is globally transferable and tends to yield faster salary growth with structured promotion ladders. On the Asian side, risk is higher but rewards can be specialized. Japan typically requires N2 or N1 language proficiency and involves deeper cultural adaptation. Malaysia offers exposure to an emerging market with growth potential, but salary ceilings and benefits may be lower than Western Europe. For many students, Asia is better explored after 3 to 5 years of high-value experience earned in the EU. This mind map centers on high ROI skill stacks. The AI and machine learning branch includes deep learning, MLOps, model serving, and vector databases. The DevOps branch features continuous integration and delivery, infrastructure as code with Terraform, containerization with Kubernetes, and observability. The cybersecurity branch highlights cloud security, identity and access management, incident response, and threat modeling. The data engineering branch covers ETL, lakehouse architectures, orchestration, and streaming. Finally, the Career Enablers branch includes English for technical contexts, technical writing, interviewing, and open-source contributions. Each branch points toward tangible portfolio artifacts and, where appropriate, certifications. This table presents an at-a-glance snapshot of notable EU tech hubs. Dublin is strong in cloud and corporate technology, with high English comfort, counterbalanced by a high cost of living. Berlin blends AI, IoT, and deep tech startups with moderate English comfort and significant cultural diversity, although hiring cycles can vary, and German language skills help. Amsterdam shines in innovation, fintech, and DevOps, with high English comfort, good work-life balance, and a strong engineering culture. But housing can be scarce and hiring selective. Munich focuses on automotive, robotics, and Industry 4.0, where English works within tech teams, though German is often preferred in broader contexts, and hiring tends to be more structured. Your portfolio should demonstrate impact, not just code volume. Publish 2 to 3 flagship projects with clear documentation, architecture diagrams, and live deployment links. Tie each project to a measurable outcome, such as reduced latency, increased uptime, lower cost, or reduced threat surface. Contribute to open-source repositories in your target stack via issues, documentation improvements, and small features. Include infrastructure as code templates and CI/CD pipelines to prove your solutions are reproducible. Finally, write a brief case study for each project that outlines the problem, the approach, the results, and the lessons you learned. This timeline spans the first 5 years. In years 0 to 1, the focus is on EU internships, choosing a specialization, and completing an initial certification. During years 1 to 3, you aim for a full-time role in an EU hub while deepening your niche and shipping 2 major portfolio pieces. From years 3 to 5, you progress towards senior or lead track responsibilities. At this stage, consider an Asian rotation only if you have invested in language and cultural preparation, or alternatively move to a top-tier EU team. At every stage, reassess your return on investment and personal stability. Here is the second quiz question. For Japan, what language milestone is typically recommended to integrate into corporate engineering roles? The options are Basic Greetings, JLPT-N4, JLPT-N2 or N1, and no Japanese needed. You may pause the video now to consider your answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section. The correct answer is JLPT-N2 or N1. Achieving this level supports participation in meetings, reading documentation, and progressing within corporate structures. Before we conclude, here is an important disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal, financial, or immigration advice. Regulations, compensation, and market conditions can change over time. You should verify details with official sources and seek professional guidance when making decisions that affect your status or finances. These are the core takeaways. Dual nationality lets you focus on creating value rather than navigating visas. EU hubs deliver low-friction environments with high early career upside. Specialize in high-demand domains such as AI, DevOps, or cybersecurity. Strong portfolio evidence outperforms generalized competence. Consider moving into Asian markets after 3 to 5 years of EU experience, and build in structured reassessments every 6 to 12 months. To wrap up, choose the path of least resistance first by targeting EU hubs with high demand. Exploit your freedom of movement with early internships and short placements. Build a specialization-backed portfolio and iterate quickly. Finally, time your adventures thoughtfully. An Asian rotation can deliver higher return on investment after you have gained strong EU experience. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. In the comments, tell us your dream first destination and the specialization you plan to pursue. Your insights can help others who are making similar decisions.